I was babysitting this couple's daughter. It was a white couple. And the last day that I babysat, the guy stayed the whole time. He wound up paying me $70 for babysitting, but it wasn't for payment, but he wound up paying anyway. So then he was like, if they canceled their original babysitter, and they was arguing because they canceled her when that was my last day of babysitting. So then he was like, hold on. He was like, he was telling her like what is we do, and eventually they agreed to put the baby was old enough to put in daycare. This baby was 1 year old. On top of being 1 year old, this baby was big. So like, he was giving me the baby to hold one last time, and when he gave the baby to me, my arms had suddenly became weak, and the baby almost fell. Like literally touching the legs. His legs was touching the floor, but I caught him just in time. And that's when I knew. I was like, yeah, it's over for me. I ain't watching this baby no more. Just that, right there just ended everything. So, he wound up, I wound up holding him one last time, and I gave it to him. And when he gave me the payment, that's how I knew for sure it was officially done. Like, he was waiting for it's always that one little mess up that will let you know that the time you spent with these people is over. One little mess up at a job is over. And that payment showed me that, okay, this was the last time I'm babysitting this kid. So he put him in the car seat. Little baby car seat. Mind you, this baby is 1 year old, and the baby can walk. I don't know why I'm saying baby. Obviously, is a toddler, but yeah, they was babying the boy. But not like a car seat, like outside in a car seat, the carrier. So they put him in a carrier to take to the car, and the baby can walk. So yeah. So we on our way to the car. He didn't give me the money until after he got his son in the car. So we walking outside, and I started skating around. So it must have been ice or some type of slippery content to where I can just skate, and I was just like spinning and stuff like that. And I was like, you ever been ice skating? And he was like, no. I was like, I have. And I actually have. I've been ice skating before, and it was really fun. But yeah, we I wound up walking with him to the car, and then after we reached the car, he put him in the car, and then I started turning around. I'm like, just because somebody say they gonna pay you, don't mean they gonna pay you. And he was kind of, skeptical of whether he was gonna pay me or not. He was, I can pay you now or I can pay you later. So I was just thinking, later is what he talking about. So we wound up reaching the car, and then I wound up turning around to go back home, and he ran up to me and was like, here. And he gave me the $70. So then he gave me a hug, and like he was gonna miss me or something. Like, when you babysit a child, you start having that connection with the parents, that bond. He gave me a hug, and he wound up going back to his car. So then I wound up appearing in this laundry room, and these kids, the kids was doing laundry. And I'm like, that laundry is, they put dry laundry in the laundry. In the dryer. I'm like, that laundry is done. I wound up taking that laundry out, and I've seen that I was about to do the same exact thing that they just did. So I'm like, where do I put this dry laundry? And he, showed me where to put it. So I went up going over there and putting it at this table, on this table where the dry laundry go. And then it was like, they started making remarks, like they started talking, spreading rumors about what happened, talking about, you better be watching your husband or something like that to another girl. But I knew they was talking about me, because obviously they thought I was sleeping with the guy. So they was making remarks like that. And then I wound up leaving the laundry room, and this girl was like, my son came around, and he was like, I just got on a, what is it called? I can't think of what it is. He said, I got on a blow up thing. So he got on one of them. And I was like, did you ask me? He was like, no. And he was like, can I go back? I was like, no. And I was like, he was like, well, he said something. He was like, I was like, well, next time you think about going over there, I guess you'll come ask me first, right? Because you can't go over there without my permission. And I said something in that way, but it was a whole different way. And it caught the girl's attention. She was like, I know that's right. Now he knows to come ask you before he goes on anything else. Like, he knows to get permission now. I was like, yeah, that's how you got to do it. And then I wound up saying something. Oh, and then she was like, how's babysitting or something going? I was like, it's going well. Oh, and I was like, well, he probably just went over there because the guy, the father of the child that I'm watching is still at my home. Like, he was still at my home. Like, he stayed over all morning. And then that's when she immediately got quiet. I'm like, oh, well, there that goes. She about to start assuming and spreading rumors like everybody else. So, yeah, I'm about to go back to what I was doing. So, yeah, that's what happened. And then I wound up going into this other dream. After that, I went into this other dream, and it was of one of my exes. And he was like, before I seen him, I went into this, it was like this thing where when you walk out of it, I'm skipping parts though right now, but it was a part where I was singing with somebody, and then we wound up leaving. And when we were leaving, we went into this thing that if you don't run out in time, this thing will crush you. We didn't even know until this person had went in front of us, and somebody led them out first. Like, he ran out first, and he was like, come on. Like, and then the person stepped out, and he got crushed. I'm like, oh, snap. This is some type of, like an obstacle course, but in a way you gotta be careful because you can lose your life. So the hand went down as soon as they stepped out, and then that's when it basically activated. So then it started going down, like giving us space to step out. So every time it went down and went further down, that was our chance to keep stepping out and stepping out. So we made it we probably 4 or 5 spaces, or 4 or 5 feet away from, being out of it. And then it's like it went down, but then it sensed my son's foot. Like, I don't know, my son's foot was up there, and it sensed his foot, and it wouldn't go back up. It just stayed down. I'm like, dang. So I tried to cover up I tried to pull down his foot so it wouldn't, sense it. So then I covered it with some type of blanket or something. Covered his foot, and that's when it started continuing on. Well, it lifted up, but then it was basically it didn't want to lift up. Like, it was looking for his foot. I'm like, what the heck kind of machine is this? So then we wind up slipping out through, I guess there was a way to go behind what was going on. So, behind the scenes. So we wound up finding this curtain. We went underneath it and went behind it. And we wound up seeing what was back there. And it wound up being I don't know, it was a creature or something. And it was trying to get my son. Like, I'm like, what the heck? Like, it actually came from underneath. Because this creature was underneath some type of blanket. And it was controlling the machine. So then when we got out and we seen what it was, he tried to come from underneath the blanket. Well, grab my son. He tried to run towards my son and grab my son from underneath the blanket. I'm like, what's wrong with y'all? Like, what the heck is going on? So we wound up escaping. And when we ran out, it was this guy. He was my ex. And he was like, I can teach you. Like, I didn't know who he was at first, but as soon as he said, I can teach you, I was like, oh, snap. And I said his name. I was like, James? And he was like, yeah. Like, he basically reminded me because he's the one who, in my dream back then, taught me how to ride a bike. And he was on a bike, and he said to me, I could teach you. So then the girl beside me was like, oh, snap, where your sister? She probably in all this trouble. That's probably why you out here being an a-hole and this and that. And he just automatically switched. Like, he got angry. He was like, don't be talking about my sister, this and that. I was like, and he was like, oh. And she was like, oh, what happened to her? Is she not around anymore? And he started, he was just snapping at her. And I guess she passed, she said something about water zodiac signs, and he was like, F them zodiac signs. He said something about God and heaven being aqua, place, aquafied place, like water. And he was like, F that place. And that, I guess she drowned. That was him saying that she drowned, and that's how she, wound up dying. But he was, and then she was like, "That's probably how you gonna end up." Well, before he said that, before she realized that, she was telling him, like, "You gonna end up like your sister, fighting and this and that." And he was like, "Be quiet, because that's what happened. I mean, that's why she ain't here today." And she was like, "I'm surprised you here today." I'm like, "Oh my gosh," like they going at it. So, then we wound up going into this place, and it had like I think it had like a few doors. One door was like a sketch door, like the covering of the door was like a sketch door, and then there was this black and blue door. They was all black and blue, and there was just one red door. But the black and blue, it was one black and blue door that was sketch, one black and blue door that was, just a dull black and blue door, and then there was this red door or a black door. I don't know. It was these doors that we had to go into, but before we went into the doors, she was like, "I gotta use the bathroom." So she went and used the bathroom. Before he even got a chance to even get to the doors, like well, before we went into this place, it was somebody talking down on James, and like James was doing something like mentally, and he got out of it. He scared them actually. So then, yeah, that's when we went into the building, and we just stood there. So, then I wind up being in this one. It just got weird after that. Like, it got really, really weird. We wound up being in this. We wound up going to this place. Like, we went to this campsite. Like, we were supposed to be out there and I actually met somebody else from the past. I think his name was Anthony. And we wind up, well, we were supposed to go to this lake or this beach. I think it was like a lake to show off to basically, as you would do like at a flea market, you would take all your stuff out there for sale to show off your talents and this and that, like whatever you had, like I don't know, whatever you had, and the flyers and the brochure. Yeah, I think the flyers and stuff like that. Like we would have our own little table. Like we went to go set up we had to go set up our table. So we didn't bring nothing with us. We just showed up, and when we showed up, it was like a car, like a truck or something that was that had went into the building. And I guess there was a stage, so they was doing some type of thing out there. Like, they was having some type of event, so that it was a car crashed into the stage area. And I'm like, "What happened here?" They was like, "Well, we're not having it no more." Well, we are, but we're moving, to a different area. So we got to evacuate this area and go to a different area. I was like, "All right, cool." So we all start walking to a different area. We wasn't even planning on being there, honestly, but we wound up, you know, getting there and being there. How we got there, I'm not even gonna talk about it because it's too much. It's too weird. It's too strange. It's too. It was like, I don't know what the heck, how to even explain. I don't even know how to start to explain how we got there, but we got there. It's just, yeah. So yeah, like I said, we got there and we wound up relocating somewhere else, and that's where my dream ended, was when we was walking to the other area of where we was going to do we was going to set up our table and set up our work and stuff, and yeah, hold that little event. Well, I don't know if it's event or not. I just know we had to set up our tables. So yeah, that was my dream. Like, comment, subscribe, be notified, share at your own free will to show you care. Bye. Staring at herself in the mirror on the restroom door.
Voices in her head that mirror what she's heard before. All the things they said to hold her back, they never seem to leave her head and tend to keep her mind at war. All the things they said to hold her back, they keep her locked inside of all the times when she's been hurt before. Her eyes are swollen as she tries to hold her tears back. Her hands are shaking and her palms are sweating as she says, I don't wanna listen to a word you say, telling me what I can become. And I've been looking forward to this day, the day I prove you since my hair got cut and dyed. And I've had 7 days since I tried to rip a chapter out my mind. I've tried, and his laugh is just as soft as yours, smiling just as wide. He could be what I like, and his voice is just as dark as yours, freckles just as light. Could be what I desire. Still feels like my hands are tied, hands are tied, hands are tied. 'Cause he's got those stranger eyes, stranger eyes, stranger eyes. And he could.
Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Be notified. And share at your own free will to show you care.